What's up,
guys.
everybody? What's good?
What's up? We know that we're posting kind of late this week.
Yes.
I've been moving, and thank you very, very much. Q, my bestie, has been helping me as well. So our postings are kind of been late, and we're just kind of officially moved in. Yay! You see the new background? You like it? I know there's going to be something back there. But I just wanted to first say to the group that our postings have been kind of slow, and it's just because of moving and everything. Right. But let's get into the topic. I'm so excited. This is my favorite subject. Anyway, okay.
So today, this week's question was in regards to transitioning, and for Grown and Sexy Friday, the question of the day was. For boys, it was a two-part question. For boys, have you ever considered transitioning, or are you in the process of transitioning? How do you think it affects you and the important people in your life? Do you personally know anyone that has gone through transition? And that's to begin with. So I want to start with I'm going to start with the boy end. So let's see. I've known who I was since, once again, I was 5. I think I mentioned that. Apollonia Kudrow, I'm still looking for you, for real, please. I hope you watch this. Know that I'm still looking for you. Anyways, I've known who I was since I was about 5. I think since I came into consciousness, really. And, yeah, as a kid, I seriously wanted to be a boy. There was the crayon that I used to stuff my underwear with.
Now, do you want to be a boy, or have you thought?
I thought about transitioning.
Being a man?
As a child, I wanted to be a boy. I hadn't thought as far as being a man yet. But I wanted to be a part of the boys' club. Like I said, there was the crayon incident where I used to stuff my pants with the crayon so I could flash it to the little girls on the playground, proving that I was a boy. And then, there was all the other things of being teased, saying you're not a boy, and me fighting through it. I always wanted to be a boy growing up as a child. And I think it eventually left my mind and thought process only because of, as you get older, you're growing up in my time, you were constantly chastised about who you are and trying to be, yourself, and you couldn't be gay. So, eventually I had to grow into accepting that I'm female, but even then I still don't accept it. I know what I look like. I know what everyone else sees. So, at this point I really don't fucking care. I've known people who have gone through transition. Shout out to Alan. It's once I seen it happen. I knew someone a while back who left Seattle, a female, and then seeing them transition online as on Facebook as they're going through the process. It was cool. And from those things of knowing people, I've definitely revisited the idea. But the one thing that would definitely keep me from transitioning all the way is that it's a dangerous time for a black man in these days and age. And I don't want to be one of those statistics. So that definitely makes me not want to transition. However, I still have an ambition to really want to be what I want to be. I have a son who, if you try to tell him that I'm not a male, he will argue you down. And I don't argue him. What I try to explain to my son, even now, is that not all men are born in the right body. And then I'm just going to keep going with that. And
that's exactly how I raised my kids.
As honest as I'm going to be with them to make him understand. I'm trying to stretch his understanding beyond what this small box of our world can understand. And that's that. So I wonder how it affects other people's. I've not seen the outcome of how it affects their family members, their friends. I've seen the outcome of how it affects friends, the cats, and judgmental. You know, some envy. You know, my thing is, people, get out of yourselves. Why does it matter to you what somebody else wants to be or wants to do? Who are we? Really, who are we? So,
okay. And I'm going to take over the femme side because this is something that I have experienced more than one time, actually. The question for the femmes is, have you ever dated anyone in the transgender community? Have you ever gone through transitioning with a loved one or significant other? And how did it affect them, yourself, and importantly, the people in their lives? Okay, well, I have experienced this. I have dated more than one trans guy, and it's been difficult with different situations for me. I happen to be one femme, cis woman, you know, very femme, by the way, that happens to look at transgender in a different way. I believe you're just born in the wrong bodies. It happens. I've raised my kids that way. I tell them that, you know, there are people who have birth defects. They have an extra toe, or they don't have a uterus, but they're still a female. They have ovaries, but they're still a female because they have, you know, I have raised my children to have this open-minded thinking because that is how I have. I've always been criticized because even as a young child, I always felt that way. I always questioned, and I always kept saying, okay, well, how can that be a girl when she looks like a boy? Or how can that be a boy when she looks like a girl? Kind of thing. As a teenager, I was told I could never have children. So does that make me less of a woman because I can't birth children? No. So it doesn't make someone more of a man or less of a man because of what's below the belt. So that's just kind of how I feel. But anyway, it has affected me personally, deep and strong, because of the way that I look at things and how I see transgender. I see the hatred in families. I got to a point through one of my relationships that I saw how hard it was for him in his own family. They used the wrong pronouns. They even addressed me when I would say he. They were like, who, her? And I was being like, where's the female? Me? No, not me. I'm talking about him. And it was very, very difficult for me to see and experience coming from this side of it, of what he had to go through. Another gentleman that I had dated, it was a little different because he didn't have family where he lived. He actually transitioned and then moved out of state so that he was new to brand new people. Nobody knew him prior to him transitioning. And both of them hadn't had surgery yet, so let me just make that clear. They hadn't had surgery yet. But to me, that's not the most important of what's below the belt. It's what's in here. It's how you treat me. It's, I want you to respect me and I'll respect you kind of thing. So that was what was extremely hard for me. Extremely hard that my children had to experience that and had to defend people, you know, that they didn't know and couldn't understand why they couldn't clearly see the world the way we saw them. One of my relationships, and I'm just going through all the different things because it kind of touches the different subjects, is he had a very hard time accepting my love. I think it was mostly because he was having a hard time transitioning within himself. Not that he didn't want to transition, not that he wasn't a man or anything like that, but I just think it was his own difficulties within himself, and that his extra skin, as I would call it. We all have extra skin. I've lost, you know, quite a bit of weight, so I have extra skin. Hey, you love me for my extra skin, I will love you for yours. Mm-hmm. But the whole point of the matter is that you have to love yourself. And so whether you're a femme or you're a boy, if you want to transition or not, if there's someone you love that is transitioning, it's important that you get support as well as them. Because when you are dating someone that is transitioning, it can be very, very difficult, depending on when you started dating them versus how you see them. You might slip up, and it might not be an intentional thing, but sometimes they can get hurt, which causes you to be hurt because you didn't mean it, and things like that. So, like I said at the beginning, this is one of my favorite subjects because it is something that we need to talk more about in our community. We really, truly do, because our children are being raised in this community, and it was hard enough in my generation to come out. So I know that there's a lot more children and a lot more adults that want to come out, and they can't come out because they don't know how to. They want to support, but us femmes don't know how to support them. And so I'm hoping that through some of these videos and some of my talks that I can help femmes and you know, we can help boys. And we wanted this group, I keep reminding us, that we wanted this group truly so that we can be here for you, talk about your subjects. This happens to be a subject that is in our community. A lot of transgender are hiding behind labels that they don't even feel comfortable with because it's not even truly being who they are. So I'm going to end it because you know I get long-winded. But I want you guys to reach out to us. Ask us more questions about things. Any topic that we've started to touch on. We want you to invite your friends. Invite other communities. If you think that this is a group that would touch someone, reach out to them. Have them try to get into the group. And as long as they meet the criteria, we don't want cis men. We don't want men getting on our group and pursuing the women and saying, oh, you just need this big, no. We don't want that. We want to be here for you. So if you are transitioning, that's fine. You still fit the criteria. As long as you understand that we label you as a BOI. And if you're in transition, we can label you as a BOI transitioning. That's perfectly fine. A lot of these subjects are going to hit you even being transgender. So you don't have to worry about, oh, now that I'm transitioning, I can't be part of the group. No. As long as you can be okay with identifying as being a BOI, you never know. We might change it a little up a bit and extend it to our transgender. It's just we're not sure if that is what you're wanting or not. So if it is, reach out to us.
All right.
All right. That's going to be the hot toddy for the evening. And get much love and support each other. That is really what I want you guys to understand this week. We all need to support each other and be here for each other.
Truthfully. And I honestly wanted to say to all my brothers out in the trans community, you do have a place of acceptance because I accept you. We accept you.
Yes. And I like to date you, so just to let you know, if you want to take any okay, anyway, I'm joking. You know I'm very funny, and I try to throw humor in there.
I don't want to date you, but I'd like to meet you.
I'll date you. But
right.
Anyway, you are accepted here is what our point is.
Right.
And that whatever it is, we will bring the topics that you want to hear and you want to talk about.
That's okay.
Okay, so for the night, this is Lovely Donald.
And Q Richardson.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right now.
Bye. Bye, y'all.